The room went silent the moment she whispered, "Please, don't lift my dress." Daniel Harper froze. His 5-year-old daughter, Lily, stood behind him clutching his shirt, her tiny fingers trembling. The housekeeper, quiet, dependable, invisible to the world Maria, was backed against the kitchen counter, her eyes wide not with guilt, but with fear. And Daniel didn't understand why. He hadn't meant to scare her. He had only noticed the torn hem of her uniform as she stumbled earlier while cleaning the stairs. Something heavy had fallen from beneath her skirt, a metallic sound against marble, and when he bent down to pick it up, she panicked. "Please," she whispered again, her voice breaking. "Don't." Daniel's heart pounded. He was a single father, a man who had built his tech company from a garage into a multi-million-dollar empire after his wife passed away from cancer. He knew betrayal. He knew secrets. And in that moment, every worst-case scenario rushed through his mind. Was she stealing? Had he trusted the wrong person in his home, around his daughter? But Maria wasn't looking at him like a thief. She looked like someone reliving a nightmare. "Maria," he said softly, trying to steady his voice. "Whatever this is, I need to know. I have to protect my child." Lily peeked around him. "Daddy," Maria cries at night. The words hit him like ice water. Maria closed her eyes. Daniel swallowed and gently lifted the edge of her dress just enough to see what had fallen. And he froze. Strapped tightly around her thigh, hidden beneath layers of fabric, was a thick medical brace, metal rods, worn leather straps, and beneath it, a scar so jagged it made his stomach twist. It wasn't something you could fake. It wasn't something you could explain away. It was the kind of scar that came from surviving something terrible. Maria began to shake. "If employers see it, they don't hire me," she said through tears. "They think I can't work fast enough. They think I'm weak." Daniel's grip loosened instantly. "How did this happen?" he asked quietly. She hesitated. Then the truth came pouring out. 5 years ago, her husband had been involved with dangerous people. When he refused to continue working for them, they retaliated. Maria was caught in the crossfire of a deliberate car crash meant to scare him. He died instantly. She survived. Barely. Multiple surgeries. Months in a hospital bed. Death that swallowed her alive. When she finally recovered enough to walk again, with assistance, no one wanted to hire a woman who limped. So she hid it. She wore long uniforms. She worked twice as hard. She never complained. And every night, when the pain burned through her bones, she cried quietly so no one would hear. Daniel felt something inside him shift. He remembered hospital corridors. The smell of antiseptic. Holding his wife's hand as chemo drained her strength. Watching the world move on while his collapsed. He looked at Maria not as an employee, but as someone who had been fighting silently, just like he once had. "You thought I'd fire you?" he asked. She nodded. "I've been fired before. For being too slow. For taking pain breaks. For existing." Lily stepped forward unexpectedly and hugged Maria's leg. "I like you," she said firmly. "You make the pancakes with smiley faces." Maria broke down completely. Daniel crouched to Lily's height. "Sweetheart, can you go to your room for a few minutes?" When Lily left, Daniel stood and took a slow breath. "You're not fired," he said. "You're promoted." Maria blinked through tears. "Promoted? I need someone to manage the household staff for my company's executive housing division. Flexible hours. Health benefits. Real ones. Physical therapy included." Her lips trembled. "Why?" "Because strength isn't about how fast you climb stairs," he replied. "It's about surviving when someone tries to destroy you." But challenges didn't end there. When Daniel introduced Maria to his corporate team weeks later, whispers spread quickly. "She's the maid. She walks with a brace. She doesn't look executive." One board member even pulled Daniel aside. "This could damage investor perception." Daniel looked him in the eye. "If compassion damages perception, we need better investors." He refused to back down. Maria struggled at first. The pain flared during long meetings. Self-doubt haunted her. She had never used business software before. She feared public speaking. But Daniel didn't just give her a title, he gave her tools. Training sessions. A leadership coach. Flexible hours. Encouragement when she faltered. And Lily, sweet, observant Lily, became Maria's biggest cheerleader. "You walk like a superhero," she once told her. Months passed. The same board member who doubted her eventually admitted that staff satisfaction had increased by 30% under her management. Employee turnover dropped. Productivity rose. Maria understood the invisible workers because she had been one. Then came the real test. One evening, Lily collapsed at home from a severe allergic reaction. Daniel panicked. His hands shook too hard to dial properly. Maria didn't. Despite her brace, despite the pain, she lifted Lily, administered the emergency injection from the medical kit she had insisted on organizing, and called paramedics with steady clarity. At the hospital, as doctors stabilized Lily, Daniel sat in the hallway trembling. "I almost lost her," he whispered. Maria sat beside him. "You didn't," she said softly. He looked at her and realized something profound. He had once thought he was saving her. But she had saved him too. Saved his company from becoming cold and profit-obsessed. Saved his daughter's life. Saved his own hardened heart. Months later, during the company's annual gala, Daniel stood on stage before hundreds of employees and investors. "I want to introduce someone who taught me what resilience truly looks like." Maria hesitated at the edge of the stage. "Please," he said gently, extending his hand, not as an employer, but as an equal. This time, when she stepped forward, she didn't hide her brace. She wore a knee-length dress. And she walked proudly. The room rose in applause. Not because she was perfect, but because she was real. Daniel leaned toward the microphone one last time. Never judge someone by what they hide to survive. Maria's eyes filled again, but this time, not with fear. With dignity. And in the crowd, Lily clapped the loudest, shouting, "That's my Maria." The inspiring message spread far beyond that ballroom. Strength isn't loud. It doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes it limps. Sometimes it cries at night. Sometimes it whispers, "Please, don't." But when given compassion instead of suspicion, it rises. And when it rises, it changes everything.